Hello guys, this is RPG Fan 2005, or this is Mario Salceda, aka RPG Fan 2005, aka Mars from Mars and Nia, aka your president of the Las Cruces Game Knights. I wanted to address you guys. I don't know what happened. I couldn't find my web camera. I think I let somebody borrow it, and then this video was just taking too long to come out. So I said, let's just go ahead and get it out there because I couldn't be prouder. I will probably do a better, more edited version of this video with all the highlights and some cool backgrounds and all that good stuff. But for anybody tuning in right now and who see this video later on YouTube, welcome. It's been 10 years since Las Cruces Game Knights became founded in August of 2009 is when we started, and we became chartered with NMSU. And back in the day, we used to be known as the NMSU Game Knights. And then 2 years later, we decided to become the Las Cruces Game Knights. And since then, pretty much for 8 years, we've been Las Cruces Game Knights. But we started in 2009. Around August. It was eight of us. It was a group of college friends, and I had to get at least 10 signatures in order for us to be recognized as a chartered organization with NMSU. I'm not really sure what the requirements are now, but basically I got the 8 of us to sign that the basically signing that you were interested in being part of the group, and then 2 people from NMSU randomly that I bumped into, and I said, hey, I'm trying to start out this organization, and can you just sign it so we can get chartered? And they were like, yeah, of course, no problem. And then we got a teacher to sponsor the organization, and then by sponsoring, they pretty much just answer to NMSU if anything major happens. If anything bad or out of the ordinary or something crazy happens, a teacher is basically quote unquote responsible, even though they're not really responsible, because if somebody caused a problem, we would go after that person. And the teacher they're just pretty much there to charter and kind of say, I back this organization up. I believe in what they're trying to do. And yeah, after 2 years, we decided to cut ties with NMSU, and we became the Las Cruces Game Knights. I've been its president since day one. I was the one who got everything, all the ball rolling and everything, to get all the paperwork. And we've seen literally thousands of people. Another reason why I'm also doing this video kind of late was because I tried to post on Facebook about to tag everyone that I've known for the past 10 years, over 100 people, and I was tagging everyone, and their names were getting tagged and everything. And then at the end, Facebook gave me like, oh, you can only tag 50 people, and you went past that limit. And I was like, oh, okay, well, let me go back and edit it. But Facebook just deleted my post and didn't let me go back and edit it. So that kind of disillusioned me a little bit. So that's why this video is a little late. But we had to move the date. So right now it's already Saturday, but this Friday we didn't meet, which was August the 16th. We're not gonna meet till the 23rd. I'm checking my calendar right now. Yeah. So on the 23rd, we'll have our 10-year anniversary party or get together, so to speak. So far, if you guys want to bring like a potluck, we'll make it a potluck. We're gonna bring as many games as possible. Board games, card games, video games, the usual pretty much, but hopefully a lot of people show up since it's a really memorable occasion. And there's a little mini video that we made about the history of game nights. on this YouTube channel, and I will tag it in the description, and I'll share it on Facebook as well. And Marco did an amazing job when he was doing Game Knights TV season 2 or 3, I believe. And one of those episodes, he kind of captured me telling the story. So if you guys want to rewatch that, I think you guys should give it a watch. There were some other stuff that I wanted to address other than the 10-year anniversary. Usually these Game Nights Direct come far in between, but I do it for those that are really serious about the organization and that want to be more involved and be aware of what's going on. This is my way of reaching out to you and letting you know everything that's happening. So finally, one of my lifelong dreams has been to own my own video game store. Just a little background. My grandma owns a retail store in Mexico, in Chihuahua to be exact, and I grew up around that. Every summer I would go visit her, and just the people, the customer service, the sales, that was also I used to do a lot of retail when I turned 18, 16, 17. So I have a lot of customer service experience, and I just love being around people. And then I love video games, of course. Las Cruces Game Knights has been more than just a group of people that are fans about video games. It's a lot of you describe it as a family, and I've seen the post on Facebook, and you guys post that all the time. People like Sanjay and Robert, and it just fills my heart with joy that Las Cruces Game Knights has brought a lot of peace and fun and happiness to a lot of people. But with the video game store, I will finally kick one off the bucket list, essentially. I'm not gonna lie. I would be lying if I said it was easy. If it was like an easy transition. I've dedicated 10 years of my life to charity work, to giving back to the community, to giving my last penny, my last dollar, my last dime to the causes that we've been doing with like the Gospel Rescue Mission, with the FYI, with Big Brothers Big Sisters, with the Girl Scouts, with the Boys and Girls Club, all these organizations that we partner up with, and we do all this charity work. I dedicate my time, my money, and my energy, and I never wanted a penny from it. It was just the joy of putting an event together for the community and sharing the love of video games with people that I care about. And Rick and Morty, and I say Rick and Morty, but there's a lot of shows that show that we can love one another like brothers and sisters without having to actually be related by blood. And before it gets, I don't want anybody to think this is getting weird. Like, we've never been like a cult or anything crazy like that. It's just that a lot of you mentioned that Game Nights is like a family to you, and like I said, that was kind of my goal, is that we don't have any crazy traditions, or there's no Kool-Aid that you drink or anything like that. I don't even know why I'm saying. Maybe it's because it's late and I'm saying all this stuff that just comes to my mind, or maybe I've just been living with Jasenia for too long. But yeah, the Las Cruces Game Nights has been all about charity, and now that we are opening up a store, I had to totally change the way I will be conducting business, because it's business, and I have to pay the bills, and I have to keep the lights on, and we have to make a profit and all of that stuff. So once Galaxy Gaming Lounge opens up, I know that some of you were concerned from Game Nights that the price might go up, since we only asked for like a $2 non-mandatory donation, and it's going up to a mandatory $5 fee, because it's for the space, for the store. But Game Nights is still what it is at its core. It's once, if the store is successful, you bet that I'm going to be trying to do as much as I can back to the community. For example, once the store is successful, we'll be giving back to the kids, and maybe making scholarships and doing after school programs, and esports and tournaments and trophies, and all kinds of stuff. I read that there was, for example, there's some programs for like Minecraft that stores or teachers teach how to do architecture in Minecraft, and the kids get a lot of enjoyment out of that, and it's educational, because you get the basics of architecture. As much as Minecraft is just a fictional made up game, it can be very educational for kids and young adults alike, and all ages pretty much. It's if you've never played Minecraft before, playing it for the first time and getting the basics down of building a house, and whether it's made out of dirt or wood or whatever it's made out of, it's just very amazing to see and learn and look at the real world in different ways, and how buildings are built, and so on and so forth. Stuff like that. And I know I'm just kind of just trying to get to the tip of the iceberg with my ideas of once the store opens. For example, we'll do charity work for like the Mesilla Valley Animal Shelter. We can have like cats, or more than likely cats, at the store available for adoption, so that way they have an extra outlet where extremely similar to what John is doing in Albuquerque, where he has cats up for adoption, and he posts them on Facebook that, hey, my name is so and so, and I'm available for adoption. It's this cute little kitten or grown cat, and it just gives them an extra fighting chance to make sure they don't get put down, and they get adopted by being exposed to humans as much as possible. And when people walk into the store and they get a chance to interact with the cat that I have there, sponsoring the Mesilla Valley Animal Shelter, I think it's just an amazing thing to do with the opportunity that we have here with the brick and mortar store that we couldn't really do with Game Nights meeting every other week at the Lions Club, since the Lions Club is not really my building, and so on and so forth. Unfortunately, we weren't able to hit our Kickstarter goal. So like I said, I'm not gonna lie, that was a little disheartening, but I literally took out my savings from my retirement that I had saved up for not too long, maybe about 4 years, on an IRA, individual retirement account. And I had to do what I had to do, because I don't want to end up being in my later years and thinking I had this chance to open up a store and I let it slip by me, and I just want to grab the bull by the horns and make it happen. And even though to a lot of business people, they're like, hey, if you don't have a good business plan, which I do, I wrote up a business plan, and I'm going to stick by it, and or at least use it as a guideline to make sure that we're profitable and whatnot. But a lot of people might be like, hey, maybe you're rushing a little bit into it. Maybe you need to take more classes or whatnot. I feel that I'm prepared at this point. I've taken since the beginning of the summer, or around May, when I started getting really serious about opening up the store. I took a lot of classes. I registered all the trademarks. I went to the city and back and talked to a lot of people. So I feel that I'm prepared. I think we can make it happen. Of course, I can only put so much effort into my store, but I can't do it without your guys' support. Now, I'm not here to beg to buy from me or anything like that, but I will have video games for rent and video games for sale, buy, sell, trade. I will have snacks, and it's pretty much going to be game nights 24/7. So we'll have monthly passes, so that way you don't have to keep paying the $5 per hour to play the games. You can just if you're paying for that monthly pass, you can play as much as you want. And that way, when you're coming home from work or school, if you want to get something to eat or stop by the store and play some games, and if everybody else gets together, it would be pretty much a get together every single day. Whereas when we were at the Lions Club, it's every other week. And some people are okay with just being twice a week, but this way we get to reach many more people that just want to stop by and have a good time at the store, maybe Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whereas normally we meet on Fridays, and those certain people can't meet on that day. So, those other days of the week will be available once we have our own store. I don't want to make this entire video just on the store, so we'll go ahead and move on. But I know that some of you are worried that, with the price increase, but I want to say that I'm very thankful for all the support, because regardless, even if we didn't hit our Kickstarter goal, I received a lot of good positive feedback. I know that there was there was some negative too, but there was a lot of positive people sharing the link, sharing the exposure. A lot of people want to see what we're about. Maybe they're like, well, we'll see, once he opens up, let's see if he's gonna back up his claims and whatnot. So I don't feel judged. I don't feel any I don't know what it's called, not remorse, but I don't have any fear. I think once the store opens and I show everyone what my vision is and what I have planned, I think and I hope that a lot of you can jump with me to the store and see what it's all about. It'll be really awesome. And once again, thank you for all the support, for all of you guys that shared it and let everybody know that the store is going to open. It is going to open here in about 2 more weeks, or September 1st. That's when we're hoping to open, in God's hands and with everybody's support. Let's hope it happens. There's another thing I wanted to talk about, was the recent tragedies that have been happening throughout our community. And my prayers goes out to El Paso with what they've been going through. But El Paso is extremely strong. I grew up there, so I know the people, and I know how they can be. And I think they're, of course, what happened is undescribable and unmeasurable. But I think the way they bounce back is amazing, and speaks giant volumes of how strong the community in El Paso is. Of course, that brings me to the other point, that once again, the finger is being pointed at video games as probable cause of these violent outbursts. And I will be the first one to say that I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for video games. Like, video games saved my life. They were a form of, for me at least, they were a form of coping with depression, anxiety. I know that a lot of people say, well, what about the military violent games like Mortal Kombat or Call of Duty? Honestly, I never really wasn't a huge fan of those games, not because of the violence and the gore, but my type of games were games that would take you to a different land, like, Skyrim and Borderlands. And I mean, Borderlands is a first person shooter and it is violent, but the aesthetic and the worlds and just where everything, they were like portals, no pun intended, for the Portal franchise, but they were portals to a different world, similar to the kids that would read comics back in the day. I mean, people still read comics, but I mean, before video games became a big thing, the finger was pointed at comics. And I mean, without comics, we wouldn't have Iron Man, we wouldn't have Thor, we wouldn't have the Avengers, we wouldn't have pretty much Marvel and a lot of other, Spawn and all those amazing comic book characters. So I know that everybody's quick to point the finger, but me personally, over the past 10 years, especially with my organization, which is a nonprofit charity organization that helps kids with anxiety and depression, I've seen it with my own eyes, kids that have speech impediments, that have trouble speaking, that are antisocial, that are depressed, that are full of anxiety. They sit down and they play a game or a card game, a board game, a video game, and they relax and they become totally different person, as far as like being friendly and being sociable and talking more and being vulnerable instead of just holding everything in. It's an outlet, and it doesn't upset me. I mean, I don't get mad when politicians or people blame the video games. It just definitely upsets me, just the fact that it's quite the opposite. Video games, in my opinion, keep a lot of people calm that would otherwise be either out on the street or doing drugs or hanging around the wrong people. They either stay at home or they come to game nights and they're in a safe environment, free from judgment, and just able to play games and enjoy it without feeling like they're in a clique, or that they're being judged, or that they don't fit in, or that they need to hold back because whoever they're around is not going to understand them. People just speak their mind at game nights, and we have a lot of accepting. I mean, I'm not going to lie, there are a few members in the organization that are not as tolerant, but for the most part, everybody understands one another and they all get along. And I'm just so proud of my Knights and what we've accomplished in 10 years and the success stories that we've been able to accumulate, and seeing it with my own eyes, and people getting emotional when they make a true friend, and they're not tied by the social normals like high school or a basketball team or something that they expect you to act a certain way. At game nights, you can be yourself, and that's okay, and it relieves that stress, that anxiety, that depression, that frustration with the world and with people, and gives them hope that there's better people out there. So there's nothing that I can say that will minimize the pain that these recent tragedies have occurred, especially when they occur so close to home. It's just overwhelming to some people, and I know they want an outlet or an explanation or something to be done. But my organization, I assure you, fights depression, anxiety, and people that may have those dark thoughts of wanting to hurt themselves or others. Video games and my organization, while we're not doctors or psychiatrists, I've seen it where people just relax and they're just themselves, and they just can't wait to come to game nights. And that was one thing, because me personally, like I mentioned, I did suffer from depression and anxiety when I was younger. So always looking for something to look forward to. I remember one of my nights was like, man, if it wasn't for game nights, like it's the one thing that I look forward to every other week. And while they didn't explicitly say they wanted to hurt themselves or do anything irrational, it's that thing to look forward to and to keep fighting, to keep going, to keep living or breathing or being yourself. And that's what we do. That's what my organization does. That's what my store is going to do, and that's what I'm going to keep doing till the day that I die, from natural causes, I hope. And that's been always our goal, and we'll keep doing that. And like I said, I couldn't be prouder of a lot of my knights that have been there, and I've seen them succeed, and their success stories, and that we consider them like family after everything. So the next thing that I wanted to talk about is the future and GameCon 2020. I mean, that was pretty much the future, was that we'll keep fighting depression and anxiety, and my store. And even if the store fails, knock on wood, if I was playing Minecraft right now, I could, punch wood. But knock on wood, if the store isn't successful, game nights will continue at the Lions Club. So we'll always have a home there. Excuse me. And yeah, GameCon 2020. If the store is a huge success, like I said, I will pour it back into the community. I will make GameCon 2020 even greater. Get a lot of special guests. So far, we have the Iron Man cosplayer who looks like Robert Downey Jr. I can't remember his name right now. It's gonna kill me, but he's gonna be one of our special guests for GameCon, and I'm super excited about that. Also, Paul E. Niemeyer. He is the creator of the logo for Mortal Kombat, and he already agreed to be our special guest at GameCon 2020. And we're not even in August. Normally in August is when I start planning for GameCon 2020. So the fact that we're already 2 months ahead, and we already have special guests, and we already have everything booked, it's going to be even bigger and better. And I just can't wait. I'm really excited. And like I said, whether the store is a success or not, game nights will continue. But if it is a success, you bet that I will be putting all of my efforts and money and energy and time into getting special guests and making GameCon 2020 even bigger than what it was. It will be our 8th annual, and it's just going to be even better than ever. And last but not least, I want to talk to you guys about my wedding. I met with the mayor of Las Cruces to get his blessing on opening the store. And while I'm kicking myself in the head, I haven't officially proposed to Jasenia. It's all riding as well on the success of the store, because since I had to take out my savings, my retirement savings, everything to be put into the store, I can't really afford a ring for her right now. But if the store is a success, I will be able to do it. I'll be able to propose and give her a beautiful ring and have an amazing wedding, and everyone's going to be invited. I mean, I literally know thousands of people, not just on Facebook, because I have like 4,000 friends on Facebook, but thousands of people that I've literally met in real life. And I want everybody to be there. I want everybody to know that I love this woman and that I want to marry her and that I want to be with her for the rest of my life, and that I'm really happy, and that the store was a success if it's a success, so that way I can buy the ring. So I just would like to invite everybody to the wedding. Like I said, there really isn't a proposal yet, but you bet that I'm gonna record it and upload it once I do propose, and I'll hopefully make it a big deal, and hopefully her family's there. But yeah, that's another thing that I personally have planned. I know that this is a 30-minute Game Nights Direct. Hopefully you stuck to the very end. Hopefully there's a lot of insight. Like I said, I'll tag on the description below about our future, and I'll also tag, I'll tag in the description below. I'll put the link to that video that Marco did, that tells the story of how we came to be. And then we have our meeting, our 10-year anniversary meeting on the 23rd, which is next week on Friday, August 23rd of 2019. And you guys rock. Hopefully you guys have an amazing morning, day, or night. And hopefully, cheers, and here's to another 10 years of Game Nights.